Hello, good presentation, Gamma. They're a great customer of ours. So my name's Alex Higham. I'm the UK channel manager for AudioCodes. We're kind of less well known. We do the boring, gluey bits of voice in the background, so hence why Gamma are using us. But I thought I'd try and introduce us and the team so you understand our company a little bit, and also just tell you what we do and how we work with Microsoft to enable voice in a Microsoft environment. So this is our amazing team in the UK. We've got John and Steve Hopkins. Steve's actually particularly ugly, so we took his photo off there, and he's a Chelsea fan anyway. But it's a really useful team, but there's only 5 people of us, so in terms of the channel and using partners and resellers that understand our technology, you know, Blackstar are right there up at the top. They help us out immensely and take the workload off us. So speak to Blackstar about AudioCodes if you need to. I do have a stand out there. If you want to have a chat afterwards, a bit more of a deeper dive, then you're more than welcome. That's our office in Farnborough. It's just a small little place. We do workshops there as well. If you'd like to come to one of our technical workshops, they're free of charge. We do it day. Come and visit me on the stand. I'll get you booked in. And also our headquarters is based in Israel, in Tel Aviv. So that's actually the old Nortel building, which we took over. They're amazing engineers in Israel. We've got some fantastic products out there. Right. So AudioCodes 25 years ago developed codecs, which is a way of converting analog and digital voice and putting it over the internet. So we've got this kind of pedigree of voice technology out there. And that kind of extended over time. We built gateways, which is effectively converting ISDN to IP. So that's where Gamma come in. They get customers on their network using us. And then we started developing something called a session border controller, which is effectively mediating one IP device to another IP device. So give you an example. Cisco Call Manager phone system using IP, connecting to Gamma SIP trunks. You would use a session border controller. Okay? It's just one example. All right. We jumped into bed with Microsoft, though, and it was kind of a bit of a gamble, and they're not particularly easy to work with, as you can see from this 10 years of change. But we were acted as advisors to them and how they can connect their product, their unified communication system, their phone system to IP. So they used us for gateways, session border controllers. Then we started adding in other products like call recording, IP phones, management solutions, and of course they moved from Link then to Skype, and now obviously Teams, which I'll talk a bit more about today. So where did Skype for Business go? So, okay, it's still there. But you can't order Skype for Business online anymore. You can only, unless you're 500 users and above, so that's kind of restrictive. And in fact, the new version of Skype for Business on-premise, you can see they're trying to even move those users to a Teams environment. You know, for instance, now voicemail, you can't get locally on-premise. You have to connect to the cloud to do so. Okay. And in fact, there's a story. I was at a UC Day, UC Expo event up in London, and this county council came up to me and he started chatting. They're actually a conglomerate of 6 county councils. He said, "Yeah, we're all on Skype for Business online, and we got an email to say, you know, do you want to move to Teams or not? You know that double negative. You had to opt in to stay Skype for Business." And unfortunately, one of the councils out of that conglomerate didn't tick the box, and they walked in on the Monday. Everything was upgraded to Teams. It just shows how much Microsoft is kind of pushing us that way. They struggled reverting back. It was a mess. Anyway, however, Teams is a fantastic collaborative tool. Okay, but is it right for everyone? So if you haven't used it, it's in the operating system of Windows. So for me, I've got lots of product groups. I've got call recording, phones, etc. And so I've got all these Teams groups with the up-to-date marketing. I use it day in, day out. I set up meetings with customers. It's brilliant for me. Is it right for everyone in the business? Not sure. That's something you have to kind of decide if you want to deploy Teams. You've also got to look at your network infrastructure, make sure it can support video, because when people start using Teams, they use video a lot more. And also, you need to think about contact center requirements and analog requirements. So if you do have a contact center within your business, Teams can't really cope with that. It can make and receive calls, you can transfer a call, but that's about it. But it's amazing for the collaborative tools, but less so on the contact center. So you've got to make these considerations when you're thinking about deploying Teams. Now, at the beginning of the year, so Teams has been around for a couple of years, At the beginning of the year, they introduced voice this year. Okay, so you can now make and receive calls. You can either buy Microsoft's calling plan, okay, or you can utilize your own Gamma SIP trunks. We'll use them as an example. Or your trunking provider, you can connect in by something called Teams Direct Routing. And this is where AudioCodes come in. We have a session border controller that connects your Teams users to Gamma SIP trunks. Okay. So this is the fluffy, wonderful connectivity diagram. Sorry, my marketing slides aren't great, but look, it shows you the example. I've got my Teams users, AudioCodes session border controller. By the way, that can be hosted, that can be in Azure, and in fact, you can download a free copy of our session border controller, software session border controller, wherever you like. We give you 3 sessions to play with, so Blackstar can help you do proof of concept for this kind of stuff. But basically, you might have some warehouse workers, you might have DECT, you might have all these kind of people that are still stuck on the telephony platform. There might be analog requirements there, all right? So being able to move them to a cloud environment is actually quite tricky, okay? Or you might have a contact center. But here, the AudioCodes SBC or session border controller can help mediate between all of those devices. So now my Teams user can contact the phone system user, can contact the contact center user, and they can all use the connectivity to the SIP trunks. So this is a real game changer for people that are trying to move to a cloud model but are finding it struggling to do so. They can now using our session border controller. Okay, we do a lot of products actually. So obviously we work with Microsoft, but we work with BroadSoft, Cisco, Avaya, Gamma, you know, you name it. Anybody in the voice technology world, they work with us. We have gateways that support, you know, 2 analog ports. So if you want fax machine, door entry system connected in, all the way up to 288 ports. So people like the NHS, where they have large analog requirements, we have gateways there. We have a plethora of different type of gateways and session border controllers, but most popular, everybody's going virtual, well, not everybody, but about 70, 80% now. It's all a virtual environment, it's AWS, it's Azure, you can download it and do the connectivity piece. And phones, I even laugh at myself, you know, who buys phones these days? But people do, we're in that marketplace, and if you've got connectivity using our session border controllers, you can do some clever stuff with the phones as well. You know, contact us if you need evaluation units. Our cloud-bond solutions, they are Skype for Business in a box. It's a kind of dying product in our range, but it's still available. So if you've got Skype for Business online users and you want PSTN connectivity or SIP connectivity, you can use our cloud-bond deployed in a certain way to get that connectivity working. But it's quite clunky and expensive. I'll be honest with you. It's only if you really have a need case. With Teams, you just need a session border controller. It's so much more simpler. And then across the top, we've got call recording, which is specifically for Skype for Business and Teams. We've got OVOC, which is, if you can imagine, you've got multiple gateways, multiple sites, and you want to manage it all from one pane of glass. We've got a product there as well. Okay. Handsets, I'm not going to go through these. I just wanted to explain a couple of terminologies that Microsoft use. So we manufacture handsets. We designed ours for Skype for Business in the first place. They had to go through this 3-PIP program, third-party interop program. So once you're certified with 3-PIP, you're then certified for Teams as well. So in fact, you don't need a specific Teams native handset. You can use any 3-PIP handset to work in a Teams environment. All right? This one has a sidebar. This one's touchscreen with an optional extension one. And this is where it gets interesting. So previously, it was our software running on the phones. Now, Microsoft said, actually, we want some of the device. We want that consistent experience between mobile, laptop, and specific phone devices. So this is actually Microsoft's it's running on an Android operating system, actually. And you can make and receive calls from there. It's a slightly cut-down client. Again, we've got products here for evaluation purposes as well, so come talk to me, understand. You can flip this phone from 3-PIP to Teams native, okay? But it's a pretty good phone. I'd say it's an early adoption experience at the moment, but because it's cloud-based on the client, you know, you can update it from the web, get an improvement. Every couple of weeks, a new feature comes out, or it slightly gets better. It's quite an interesting experience. And we support Bluetooth and Wi-Fi as well. We can flip this phone between 3-PIP mode and Teams native. And just to show the investment that we've got, AudioCodes have got, you know, it's basically a big Android tablet with a handset attached to it. but it suits, it suits some people's perspective. So we hope to have this out in sort of December, January. Okay. I don't know why I've done that, but if you get a copy of the slides, I put lots of useful links in here, so you can get in contact or you can learn about how to use the phones. And I just wanted to briefly touch on some of the added benefits that you can have with our handsets and our session border controllers. So if you've got a remote office and you want to put a local session border controller there to get connectivity to that local office and use our Teams phones, and you lose that connectivity to Microsoft Teams, we have a little bit of resilience there. So people do get paranoid about 999 calling and emergency dialing. It's a little bit antiquated in the advent of a mobile, but still it's very important for some businesses to have that kind of functionality. So it gives us a bit of a unique. And in terms of managing, so we've got our One Voice Operations Center, so you can get a nice topology view of your entire voice network. You can actually set up alarms, management, call quality and monitoring. And you can actually drill down into some of the pie charts here. So you can see here there's a little red bar. I can actually click on there, and I can get right into our session border controller, and I can see a failed call on a specific level. So if you want to centralize your IT teams for a multiple site opportunity, then this is good. Okay. The good news is, have I done something wrong? There we go. So final slide. Just to summarize, we have a session border controller to allow you to connect your Teams users to your existing telephony and help you migrate to the cloud. We've got a number of devices that you can evaluate from us, and we've got management applications that you can add on optionally. So it's a good partner to work with. Okay, thank you very much.